Today we're going to be taking a look at this WEIZE 48 volt 105 amp hour lithium iron phosphate golf cart battery. This battery is equipped with a 200 amp continuous BMS. It can do 400 amps of current for 35 seconds, and it can do 650 amps of current for 5 seconds. The BMS also is equipped with Bluetooth monitoring using an app on your phone. Now this particular battery is sold as a combo. So with that combo, you get a nice LCD screen that can be remotely mounted in your golf cart somewhere with a nice long connection of wire. You have a bracket to help mount the screen if you want to mount it with this, or you can use this bracket that's already attached. You get your main M8 terminal bolts, your user manual, and a very nice 18 amp charger with pigtail. And all you gotta do is wire this to the battery with it in the golf cart. You can mount the charger in the golf cart if you want as well, because it is weather rated. And 18 amps is gonna give you a little over 5 hours of charge time if you completely discharge the battery. And you get everything you see here as a combo for $830. So that's a pretty good price, especially because you get a charger and a monitoring screen with it. Not only that, but WEIZE warranties this battery for 10 years. And I haven't really seen any other golf cart batteries that warrant their batteries for 10 years, because you can put a lot of abuse on a battery in 10 years. So if that's true and it really does hold up well and all the testing goes really good with this battery, this might be a really good budget option for a lithium upgrade for your golf cart. And given the BMS can handle up to 650 amps for 5 seconds, it should be able to get the heaviest, most loaded up golf carts up the steepest hills with no issues. Now, as far as dimensions go, the battery is 19.5 inches long, 10.5 inches wide, 8.75 inches tall, and the battery weighs a hefty 84.7 pounds. So you should be able to reference those measurements and kind of know for a fact if it'll fit in your golf cart or not. This should fit in most golf carts. I have full confidence that will fit, but you can use those measurements, make a little template, and just make sure it'll fit in your golf cart. Because you're gonna be replacing 4 lead acid batteries, this is gonna be significantly smaller than that. Let me give you guys a little bit closer look. It's got a nice plastic case. The logo and labeling looks really nice. They even put a little golf cart on there. Terminals look really good. Nothing crazy going on there. They are flush as well, so don't really poke up. This is what we're gonna use to get the app and connect the battery to the app, which I'm gonna demonstrate here in a minute. On the side of the battery, this is the communication port where we're gonna connect our screen, and that's it. There's really nothing else on the back. You also get nice carrying handles here on the side. That's gonna make it very easy to move this thing, but it is very heavy, so I would suggest using 2 people to move it around so you don't hurt your back. And hopefully at the end of this video, you guys will be able to make your own determination to see if this is worth the $830 or not. And WEIZE has actually been making batteries for quite a long time. In fact, one of the first WEIZE batteries, or actually one of the first lithium iron phosphate batteries I ever bought to use on the channel, was this 100 amp hour one that I bought a very long time ago. This is a very early WEIZE battery, and this thing still works just fine. I'm gonna go ahead and connect our little screen here so we can see what that looks like. And there we go. This looks like a lot of other screens that some of the other batteries that we've shown on the channel use. And this is a pretty good screen. It gives you state of charge, current, volts, temperature, as well as time to empty once you're actually running a load with it. Page 2, you can turn on and off the discharge and charging function. So that's kind of cool. You can kind of turn it off when you go to connect the battery. That way everything is safe to touch. It also gives you cycle counter as well. So we only have 1 cycle because it's brand new. And then page 3 is going to give you all the individual cell voltages, which I always like to see, because if you're having some sort of issue with this thing, you can very easily go in here and troubleshoot to see if you have maybe a bad cell, something like that. And that's really it. Very basic screen, but gives you pretty much everything you're going to want to know. All right, now I went to download the app. They recommend using the JBD BMS app. So if you look at the QR code, which is on top of the battery here, this is the app it brought up. So we are familiar with that. We are familiar with JBD BMSs as well. We have seen those in other batteries. So I'm assuming that might be what's inside this. All right, immediately it's asking me to log in and create an account. I'm gonna try to see if you can use it in guest mode, because I don't like having to create accounts just to view my battery data. So we're gonna go to guest, allow it to pick up Bluetooth. I'm gonna try to scan the second QR code that's on the battery. And there we go, it actually works. So you don't have to create an account in order to view your battery stats. We get state of charge, voltage, current, power, cycles, battery status. It gives you a normal, all your temperature sensors, just like on the screen. You can actually also do firmware upgrades through the app. And that's really it. I don't know if we can see much more. I'm trying to see if it shows us cell voltages. Yeah, that's really it. Pretty bare bones, but I mean, you do get all the information that you're really gonna need to see at a glance. I went ahead and hooked up our included charger using the little pigtail, and we are charging up the battery. So we're gonna let this fully charge, and then we can do our capacity test. It was shipped to me at 50% state of charge, so that's perfect for shipping. Here's a very simple setup I put together in order to capacity test our WEIZE golf cart battery. So we have a SunGlow Power pure sine wave inverter connected to the battery through a current shunt. That way we can read and see exactly how many amp hours the battery will give us. We're gonna put a 0.2C load on the battery, which is a little over 20 amps. So the current shunt here, everything is reset. The total amp hours is going to be displayed right here. So once the battery is completely discharged, we're gonna get our final number there. The battery has been fully recharged, and we're pulling about 21.5 amps. That's just what the battery charger is going to use. So that is pretty close to 0.2C. And that's it. We're just gonna let the test run until the battery shuts down. The inverter's low voltage cutoff is set very low, so the battery should shut off first. As you can see, that's what the battery meter is reading. I'll see you guys back here in a few hours. We'll see what this thing can do. Just finished the capacity test on our WEIZE golf cart battery. And the first go around, I was only able to get 101.4 amp hours. So that is a little bit concerning because they rated at 105 amp hours. But what I think is going on is what I noticed when I'm recharging the battery. The BMS is saying the battery's full right now. We're at 54.6 volts. The max you can get a lithium iron phosphate battery up to is 58.4. If we could get these to 3.65 volts, we're definitely gonna be able to put more capacity into the battery, but I think for some reason this BMS is just limiting that. So I can't even turn the charging rate back on. It just immediately goes off. And even the meter here is only displaying 104 amp hours. And if that is the case, that's simply a BMS programming error that could easily be remedied. Hopefully the cells themselves are actually pretty good. I was able to get the battery to start charging again. I went ahead and turned the inverter back on. And as you guys can see, when we're looking at our cell voltages, the highest cell is already at 3.6, so that's pretty good to see. But the problem is this cell up here is at 3.4. So that much of a voltage spread means the cells are not properly balancing or they're not very well matched. So because we have one cell at 3.6 and one cell barely at 3.4, that's more than likely where the missing capacity is going to go. If all the cells could uniformly get to 3.6 volts, we would more than likely get the extra 4 amp hours that we're missing out of this. So it may just be because the BMS they're using doesn't actively balance. More than likely it's a passively balancing BMS, which passively balancing BMSs work just fine. They're used a lot. The cells have to be very well matched, and when they build the battery packs, the cells all have to be top balanced. That way they're all at the exact same state of charge, because if it drifts apart too much like what's going on here, it's gonna take several cycles for the cells to actually catch up to each other, if they even can. After that first capacity test, I ended up cycling the battery a few times just because the cells weren't very balanced. And the final number I was able to get from this battery is 103.78 amp hours, as you guys can see right here. So still not quite the 105 like we want to see. All right, let's move on to some more testing. I'm gonna fully charge this thing again and we're gonna do a stress test on the battery. So this golf cart battery, it's rated at 200 amps continuous. So I figured a good way to test that is I have it connected to this EG4 12,000 XP. This is a 12,000 watt split phase, 48 volt inverter. And I'm gonna plug an electric vehicle into this and we're gonna charge the electric vehicle at 40 amps. Now 40 amps at 240 volts is close to 10,000 watts, and that's gonna pull approximately 200 amps continuous out of this battery. And that test is gonna show us if this thing can really put up with a 200 amp load. Now in the real world of using a golf cart, I doubt you'll ever see continuous 200 amps. You'd have to be going up a really steep hill with a very, very heavy cart. We have our 1450 extension cord there going to the EV charger. EV charger is set to 40 amps. Now we can plug in the truck to charge. There we go, we're pulling 9,959 watts, pulling about 208 amps from the battery. That's it, I'm just gonna let this run and see what happens. But so far, the WEIZE golf cart battery is handling 10,000 watts, no problem. Well, the tests have been running for some time now. We've had no issues with it. The battery has not cut off. The only thing I've really noticed is the temperature internally is starting to go up a little bit. Now that is gonna happen if you're pushing this thing to its absolute limits. But like I said, I doubt very many people are gonna be able to put a 200 amp constant load on this if they actually used it in a golf cart, because that's 10 kilowatt constant draw. But I'd say it's very impressive that it was able to pull this off without a hiccup. Now we're gonna go ahead and get this WEIZE golf cart battery installed in my EasyGo RXV golf cart. This golf cart's very unique because it has a AC motor drive from the factory. I've already removed all the lead acid batteries. The battery tray on this thing is quite large, so I know this battery will fit quite well. Personally, I find the easiest way to actually secure your battery is just using a ratchet strap. However, if you want to make some sort of system to clamp the battery down, you should definitely do that. This is going to work just fine for what we're doing. We're not going to be jumping this thing or doing anything crazy. As far as physically connecting the wires together, all you have to do is locate the main positive, main negative for your controller. And there are some auxiliary wires that you also have to run. So on this golf cart, it has a smaller ground and also the battery charging port. The main red wire has to be connected as well, but nothing else has to be connected for this to work. I would strongly recommend you do some research on your golf cart specifically, but generally speaking, it should be very easy to connect and you should have zero issues doing this, even if you've never done this before. And there we go. Install was completed. That literally took us all of 5 minutes. Let's see if it works. All right, we're rolling. Now that our battery is fully installed, we're gonna go do a little bit of golf cart extreme testing to make sure this battery can handle it. We got 3 people on this golf cart. We're gonna start from a dead stop and mat it. $165 amps, and then cruising we're using about 60 amps, not bad. All right, a little bit of off-road action. Big one. Ah, yeah. Let it eat. I'm gonna do a flyby.
All right.
It's pretty solid. It seems to run really good. Yeah, it seems pretty easy. Let's hit the other steeper side over here. Yeah, I did it pretty easily. It only used like 60 amps. Yeah, plenty of torque. All right, well, that's the end of our real driving test. Now, as far as range, based on all the testing I've done on a bunch of different golf car batteries, you could expect to get anywhere between 40 to 60 miles of full range out of this, which is definitely better than you'll get with lead acid. Here's the first look with the cover off. Nice. The main positive and main negative connections appear very nice. We have two, what feels like maybe 4 or 6 gauge wiring. Nice large crimp here with a coated copper lug. Heat shrink. They also put this protective wrapping on it. It's a thermal and abrasion resistant wrap. And then you also get a little boot. Taking a better look at the inside, we have just a generic looking BMS. It doesn't have a brand labeling on it. There's the data label up close. It does appear to be a pretty nice BMS. It has a large heat-sinked body. We have bolted terminals, no soldering there. Here's our Bluetooth module. We have a temperature probe right here going to this side of the battery, as well as here. The BMS is mounted on this nice large metal plate right here. And it actually has these little standoffs. That way when the lid is on, you can't accidentally crush the battery itself. It'll more or less prevent the lid from collapsing in on it, basically. Underneath that is a big fiberglass sheet. All the BMS wires going to the individual cells are all here. They're kind of taped down, and then right here, they're also taped. They also put tape between the wires and the metal edges, which is a bit of a thought, so at least they did that. And there's also a little bit of adhesive right here. And then from there, the wires go down. Now, this thing is separated into 2 8S packs, so there's 8 cells here, 8 cells here. I can pretty much kind of see the bus bars, and they are the pretty standard laser welded with a hump. Now, what's really hard to see on camera is there is a cell compression system inside this plastic case. So within this plastic case, there's actually a metal case, I should say 2 metal end plates that this part attaches to, and there's also side end plates, and those all kind of come together to squeeze the cells and give the cells more rigidity and protection, and then that is then placed in this plastic case. Can't really see any QR codes. I'm gonna try to get this out of the packaging. I'm gonna try to take the whole battery out of the case. All right, after shaking this thing for about 5 minutes and really trying to get this thing out without destroying it, it appears that at the bottom of this, there's a thick pad foam that's adhesive as well, and that's what's adhering the entire actual battery pack to the plastic case. So that's a good thing because this is not gonna move around or shift, but it's a bad thing because I'm not gonna be able to easily get this out without destroying the whole battery. So unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to see what cells they're using. So if anybody has an idea of what cells they're using in this battery, let me know in the comments. I mean, but other than that, there's nothing really crazy going on. The only thing that is slightly concerning is just how the balance wires are ran right here. They need to put a plastic channel, in my opinion, that kind of hides all the wires or cradles all the wires and also goes around this bend right here because these could chafe. Even though they did put a little bit of tape, I'm just wondering how good of a solution that is. It almost looks like a last minute thought. I think if they put a little bit better wire protection here, maybe zip tie these up because they're a little loose. These could flop around while you're driving around. I don't really see anything else that I would consider detrimental. It is a cheaper built battery, but it does still have the metal frame for the cells, and all the spot welds that we can kind of see in there do look pretty good, and I think it would work just fine over time. Overall, I do think the battery performs pretty good, but I do have a couple things I want to talk about. We did not get the full 105 amp hours. I had a lot of issues trying to do the capacity test on this battery, and the thing I found that seemed to be the common issue was the battery was not very well balanced, or the balancer was not capable of getting it in balance very quickly. So I did have to kind of cycle the battery a few times and slowly charge it up just to get the balancer to balance the cells out. And then we were able to pull a decent capacity number, but still not 105. There is no on and off switch. For this price range, there are batteries available that have an on and off switch, and I would like to have that more as a safety feature than anything. Plus, if you're gonna store your golf cart, it's nice to be able to turn the battery off so it doesn't self-discharge quite as quickly as, for example, if you don't have a switch. It's also safer to make the connections because then your connections at top are not gonna be live. And maybe some of the wire management inside the battery could have been a bit better. But the things I did like, came with a charger, came with a display. It's well within the budget prices of these batteries, and if you can get it on sale, even better. Probably wouldn't pay much more than the $850 that this cost. Now keep in mind the prices of this battery does change a lot, so I really don't like to reference prices too much in the video. I would just check the link in the description to get your latest pricing, but I would recommend shopping around, comparing features, just to try to get the best bang for your buck. Now I will say, WEIZE has been around for a long time, so the chances of you being able to get support may be pretty good. Obviously I can't vouch on that because we didn't test that in this video. This did support a 200 amp load continuous, and it did very well in all the golf cart driving that we did. So if you did end up buying this battery and you installed it in your golf cart, I don't think you would have any issues for the foreseeable future, and you would also get pretty good performance out of it. Also nice that it has Bluetooth. I think that's becoming more standard. It used to be a more premium feature, but now it seems like all the batteries have it. Other than that, I think it's a pretty good value for the money, and I would definitely consider this a budget pick battery. Now, we'll continue to use this battery in a couple other different projects, some of them involving a golf cart, some of them are gonna be some off-grid solar power builds. I do get a lot of questions about using this for off-grid solar power, and they do work just fine. But that's really all I got, guys. Leave your thoughts in the comments and let me know what you guys think about this battery. If you're using this battery particular or any WEIZE batteries, leave your experiences in the comments because me and a lot of other people will get a lot of good stuff out of that. Now, if there's anything else you guys want to see me specifically do with this battery, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be in the comments responding to as many as possible. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.